This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
Greetings everyone and welcome to the unofficial Universal Great Britain podcast. I'm Guy and I'm here with Tracy, Dawn and Lee as we look to continue our look at the UK expansion of the Universal theme park catalogue.
For episode 2, following last episode's introduction and look at Universal theme park history, we're going to look at the informational updates, mainly letters sent out to residents that Universal have officially released from the start of the project until now.
Yeah, of course, this thing is a long way away from starting, so Universal have sent out letters to residents as like intent and stuff, so we thought we'd cover that. If you want to follow along while we're covering it, of course, you can go to their website, which is universalukproject.co.uk. And kind of something I wanted to put out, we've discussed this as a group at this point, because obviously we are trying to build the podcast right now and talking about something that we all had a good laugh at the beginning of that doesn't even open for another 6 years, which is crazy at this point that we are so new to this. And we're not the only ones doing this, I did find out. But kind of what I wanted to say is like, we are fans of this stuff. We're not the type of people who are going to be delving into blueprints and coming up with, delving into the permits. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about the permits and stuff, but it'll mainly be stuff that's out there already.
Yeah, somebody else's.
Yeah, there's other people doing that stuff way better than us. We are just fans of this stuff. I think, again, we have more knowledge than the average theme park fan from covering Universal Orlando for as long as we have, and Guy and Dom visiting as long as they have, and listening to us waffle about how much we know about Universal Orlando for the longest time. But I kind of just wanted to put it out there that if you're looking for sort of deep dive into the construction of this park, that is not what we're going to be doing. Although we did have a listener reach out recently who used to work for the company where this park is being built. Guy, can you remember the name of the company again?
Oh God, Handsome Brick.
Yes. So, through our connections with Universal and stuff, we're probably going to have people on who know more about this stuff than us, but we just kind of want to build a fan platform for when this park opens and kind of update as much as we can with the stuff that's already out there in a fun, interesting kind of just having a laugh kind of way like we do.
And we're excited about it. That's the thing. We are English. Normally, to get to a Universal park, it takes us a huge amount of time, planning, money. Having one open pretty much on our doorstep is just, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
And to have something in the UK that we have no idea what it's going to be at this point. Like, we've talked about, like, how much do we think a ticket's going to be? How much will the hotel be? We did a lot of this speculation on UUOP for when Epic opened, and it's going to be interesting to do. I want to do a similar thing like we did for our Epic Universe predictions for this, because I think it'll be fun to revisit.
Absolutely.
Because we've kind of we've put it out there that, like, we have more knowledge than the average theme park got. Well, we're going to prove it, I guess.
Or how much knowledge we don't have.
Yeah.
Because at this juncture, technically, we could end up being like a year out if we were like speculating on opening day. I know it says 6 years, but things
we don't
change and go wrong. That'd be funny.
Interesting.
Especially in this country with the planning process as it can be.
One of my biggest things is to, by the time this park opens, Dawn to know the names of all the rides and in what land they are and whereabouts they are specifically.
Oh, you are very optimistically, very
Good luck with that.
To be fair, Dawn, at least there's only one park, so you're not going to get confused which ride is in which park in this one.
That's true. I do know I do know what ride is an Epic. I don't remember the full names of it though.
Well, the thing is, I think it's because you started going to the Orlando parks at the time where both Islands and Universal were open, and we kind of treat them like one big park.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can understand where your kind of difficulty comes from to an extent. Maybe not so often the amount of time we spend there, but
Yeah, but I mean, it's quite close to each other. I don't know. I just get confused.
That's the thing, though. I think that's what Guy's saying, because we do the same now when we go. It's not like studios and islands. Because they are so close together, you kind of treat them as one park, which is probably why you separate Epic off, because you've got to go to Epic rather than you're already at Universal Orlando. So they're right there.
Yeah.
To go to Epic is a completely separate thing. So I get that.
Yeah. However, I still have no idea what order the lands, the worlds are in Epic yet.
I do.
I think if we'd had a paper map, I would know.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very visual, me too, very visual person. So a paper map would really have helped there.
I don't think it helps us that we didn't go into the park for the first 2 days we went from the normal entrance
no, we didn't.
either.
Yeah.
Humble brag, we got to go to the meeting. Anyway.
Oh my God. Mr. Bighead.
So anyway, let's get into this episode. Like I said, we're going to go, like Dawn said, we're going to go through the correspondence that Universal have sent out and build a picture of where they started and where they're at right now. So let's get into it.
We will. So as we said on the previous episode, Universal Destinations and Experiences intend to build and operate the company's first ever Universal branded theme park and resort in the United Kingdom, specifically located in Bedford, pending planning consent approvals. They've now submitted a request to the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government for planning permission to be granted by way of making a special development order. And the proposal is sponsored by the Department for Culture, Media and Sport.
All departments and things that I have never heard of.
No. Fancy.
One of the first things that Universal sent out was a letter to local residents back on the 20th of December 2023. Oh my God. Was it that long ago already?
Yeah.
Wow. Early Christmas present for them.
It's crazy, isn't it, to think that, like, I'm trying to think when they officially announced, we'd heard rumours for a while that they were looking to build something over here.
But we always went, no, they're never going to do that.
I still don't think it makes sense to build a park in the UK. It's like you look at Disneyland Paris, and when you look at I know they looked at Spain, and Spain seemed a much better proposition for me to build a park like that, just for the weather.
But there's issues going on. There's issues going on there that will have prohibited it.
Not for Disneyland Paris, because it opened like...
Disneyland Paris wouldn't be going into Spain. That would be Disneyland Paris.
No, but it was... So Euro Disney was supposed to be...
that's a long time
They
ago,
originally looked at... They looked at the UK, I think, and they also looked at Mercia.
Oh, yeah, it rings a bell. Sorry, I thought you meant for Bedford.
And for, like, weather-wise, I understand why it's being built in Bedford, because obviously, like... travel routes, and it's easier for people coming across from Europe and all the rest of it, but it's still weather, like, just I don't get it, basically.
If we ignore the weather, though, it makes sense. Because, London is a huge tourist destination worldwide. Heathrow, is one of the busiest airports in the world. It's incredibly easy to get to London from anywhere in Europe and beyond, actually.
Yeah.
And England has like a rich history of filmmaking.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got, cultural ties to a lot of big IPs, which could be featured in a Universal park. So it does make sense, apart from the fact that, 5-6 months of the year our weather is awful and we don't have a culture of year-round theme parks.
But I wonder if they're going to take that into consideration, though, Bill, when they start to construct.
Well, they're built in Beijing. And Beijing
and
has a lot of the same issues.
Yeah, and Japan. I think we talked about it on the last episode, didn't we? That they've, it's not like they don't have a history of building theme parks in areas where the weather is different. I don't know this for a fact, but are Beijing and Japan year-round parks?
Yes.
Yeah.
They both are.
Is DLP?
Yes.
Their weather, like Paris, their weather's the same as ours. It's a couple of degrees hotter.
Interesting.
I think that's why Paris never had a splash mountain or a log flume. I mean, of course, they are now apparently building one.
Okay.
But I think that, historically, the reason for not having a splash mountain there was due to...
But are there water rides in the Universal in Beijing?
No.
I don't know. I don't. Tracy, you've been to Japan. There's no water rides in Japan.
I wouldn't do them anywhere.
There's Jurassic Park.
No, I don't think the river adventure's there.
No, I don't remember seeing it. Actually, I don't remember seeing it.
No, I don't think it is there. So no, in answer to your question, I don't think there are water rides there. At least not outside them. I think there's...
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I think there might be a little water ride.
There's a Jaws, obviously.
It's not this. Yeah, you get away with that though, don't you?
No, there is. So there's Jurassic Park: The Ride, River Adventure
in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, when I went into that area, it was already starting to get dark, and I was
interesting
close to closing time.
But only one though. So yeah, they've obviously It wouldn't surprise me if they close that down at a specific time of the year anyway.
Perhaps.
Yeah, but I mean, like in Tokyo Disney, they've got Splash Mountain, and I think they just reduced how wet you get in the colder seasons.
And it would make sense for maintenance to happen during the colder seasons.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're going to touch on this later or anything, but I have seen that there are permits for a water park as part of Universal here.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
we'll
could
have
be
to
indoor.
delve into the permits and stuff at some point.
You've just said we're not going to.
No, we're not going to delve into them ourselves. It's just
when it
pulling the
comes out,
information that's out there on the
Yeah.
internet already to kind of discuss
Yeah.
it from our perspective. But I don't know what I'm looking at for permits and stuff.
We could have an indoor water park.
Yeah, like Atlantica at Europa.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what you reminded me there. There's something, because you talked about it being in Bedford because it's easy with having Heathrow and London being a big tourist destination. That's one of the reasons we've never been to Europa Park, because it's not, at least from my perspective, it is not an easy park to get to.
No, it's not.
You can't get a direct flight, as far as I can see, from the UK to within a relative distance of it, and it's one of those things that not really traveling into Europe much it kind of puts me off going, because
I love driving, but I'm not driving that far.
Yeah, one of the reasons. So it will be interesting. It's very interesting to see what this park is going to be.
I think it's not going to be, I don't think it can be your typical Universal Park.
No.
At least Florida Park, for the reasons that we're,
No, because is the one in Universal Beijing and Japan typical?
Yes and no.
I would say
Beijing's
Japan.
not.
Yeah, like Japan. I mean, Tracy, you've been, other than certain areas being kind of covered over.
They're covered, but they're not enclosed.
No.
They're open-ended, so it's still, you're in the elements, you're just protected from rain.
From what you've sent me
But
video-wise, it looks very much like Universal Orlando.
Very much. Well,
Yeah.
the Uncanny Valley video that I said.
Yeah, Hollywood
crazy.
and New York, just and if
They're
you were
interchangeable.
studying very specific positions, you would feel like you were in Orlando.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it is Uncanny Valley, because I mean, I went years ago, like sort of 15 years ago, and I remember like Spider-Man, which is obviously now closed. That was where Mummy is in
Yes.
Universal Florida, so it's kind of like it's the same, but it's different.
Yeah. Crazy.
Interesting.
That'll be interesting to see, because our weather's quite unpredictable.
We've never had a Yearland theme park because of it.
Yeah, like no one
Yeah.
does. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects other theme parks. So, like, will it sort of give Merlin that kick to think, well, if Universal can do it, then are we going to? I feel like we've got a document already of having a plan for episodes moving forward, and I think a discussion on how Universal opening here is going to affect other theme parks in the country is definitely an interesting conversation. And we know enough UK theme park people. I think a round table with us and a couple of sort of UK theme park experts could be an interesting episode, actually.
Boost for the economy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
The letter said, "Dear local resident, this week you may have seen media reports concerning Comcast Corporation's purchase of a parcel of land near Bedford, as well as speculation surrounding the land's potential use. We are writing to you to introduce ourselves and share more information about the potential project we are considering as it currently stands. Universal Destinations and Experiences, which is part of Comcast Corporation and based in the United States, is in the very early stages of exploring the possibility of a potential park and resort experience at this location. While we do own the land, we are only at the beginning of our feasibility study as part of our evaluation of potential sites. It may well, therefore, be many months before we decide whether to proceed with the project. Our destinations around the world, from the United States to Japan and China, are beautifully designed and landscaped resorts that offer world-class service and feature immersive experiences that invite people to step into the stories they've imagined in their hearts and minds. They also create thousands of jobs and generate significant positive economic impact, both locally and further afield. We are also committed to enhancing natural beauty and protecting the ecology of the areas where we operate. Above all, we have a strong track record of working together with local communities and relevant stakeholders as we consider any new project. Engaging with the local community in Bedford, Kempston Hardwick, Stewartby, Wixons, Wootton, and elsewhere will be no different. While we have been encouraged by the positive nature of conversations we've had so far with various national and local stakeholders, including Bedford Borough Council and the Mayor of Bedford Borough, we plan to work closely with our local communities should we progress. With this in mind, and as we continue our feasibility study, we have launched a new website, universalukproject.co.uk, provide any relevant updates. There is still a long way to go, and we may not have any more information to share in the near term. Rest assured, if this potential project does progress, we will reach out to you again. We hope this update has been helpful and look forward to closer partnerships locally and nationally as we continue to explore the possibility of bringing a park and resort experience to Bedford Borough. Yours sincerely, John McReynolds, External Affairs, Universal Destinations and Experiences.
I feel like we should have had a thing before that whole thing of like, when you hear this noise, ding, please turn the page. Like a read-along story.
Yeah. Showing your age now.
So that is a very, very well-crafted letter.
It is.
Of kind of putting out their intentions, but also selling what they are going to be bringing. Like if you got that as a local resident, I was going to say it's difficult for us.
We'd be like, hell yeah!
It's difficult for us to look at it from an unbiased perspective because we're such big Universal fans. But I wonder how local residents felt when they first got that through there. Because initially, depending on how close up you are to that, it would potentially get you back up. We've already seen there's residents in an area. Isn't there a row of sort of a dozen houses inside that,
like
which
that.
is interesting, isn't it? I don't know how you buy a parcel of land that contains people living there.
Then you hope that those people will take a nice sum of money and move out.
How do you buy that land? How is that land for sale with those houses in it?
They bought all the land around it.
Around it, yeah.
So it'd be like that poor bugger whose house is in the middle of the M6 or whatever it is.
I think that sounds awesome. You're not going to get any cold callers.
I mean, the thing that I'm confused about is I can't really remember the timeline on this, because I remember that this whole project kind of got leaked before Universal probably wanted it to. I think it was an Alicia Stella kind of video.
I don't know. I've been following Universal for long enough that I don't necessarily believe there are such things as leaks anymore.
Controlled leaks, perhaps.
I don't believe that for a second. There's too many things have come out that feel like it's like in the day of social media, why do your own work when you can get the entire internet to do it for you?
Drip a little bit out and they put the pieces together, you mean? But
not even that. Just put something out there. Someone picks it up. Oh, sorry. Like how many times have we seen over the years Universal post something, Universal Orlando specifically, post something, and then half an hour it get taken down. And you're like, oops, someone up. And you're like, did they though? Because as soon as that comes out, I'm going to bleep it.
Oh, okay.
As soon as that someone is on it, and it only takes one person, that one person shares it, someone else picks up it, someone else picks on it, and that whole buzz is created without you barely doing anything. You don't need a huge social media department at that point because the rest of the internet will do it for you.
You don't need to pay for advertising. You're saving a ton of money.
And here we are doing it for them for free.
Yeah. Wait, I'm not getting paid.
No.
I see you.
I agree with you to a large extent for lots of the things that kind of leak out. But I mean, the scale of this project and being able to control the narrative from day one, especially with local residents, I don't know. I mean, you could well be right, but part of me wonders whether like Universal kind of, if that was what they intended, regretted not being the ones to, send a letter like this before that happened.
Maybe.
Because I remember there were sort of like, because our press is like over here, they're always looking to buy any sort of story which makes a corporation look bad.
Yeah.
So there were sort of things like, Universal plans site, local residents kept in dark type thing.
I mean, that's the British media, isn't
tabloids,
it? If they can sell any story as a negative story, they will.
Of course.
Yeah, that's actually something which probably, people who aren't familiar with the UK press should probably be aware of over the next few years. There will be a lot of sensationalist headlines about this place and about how poorly Universal are treating the local people, etc., etc. And it's not necessarily going to be...
Yeah, but then people are going to believe what they want to believe. Exactly. They're going to seek out information they want to seek out, and they're going to retain the information they want to. It's just like press all over the world.
It is.
It is, but I think we are worse at it.
I don't know.
We're quite a negative country.
We are a negative. You're right.
We have the Daily Mail,
Yeah, it's like you only have to look at, for those football fans out there, you only have to look at any World Cup, European tournament, where they will build the England team up literally just to knock them down when we're crap, which is most of the time.
Well, look at my Korean friends. I'll be talking to them. We'll have had some news from South Korea, right? And it's all like, oh, the end is nigh, blah, 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 blah. And I'll go to them and I'll say, what the hell's going on here? They'll go, what are you talking about?
Oh,
and they'll look and they'll go, right, this is what actually happened. And it's like, nothing. And that it's been fed over to us as, there's this massive war going on or something's going on. And it's that different sensationalizing something that's tiny and isn't even worth their time. And they bring it over here and they do it with you are right, they do that.
It's because the internet's made it worse because everyone's trying to... Yeah, exactly. Everyone's trying to find their space and kind of lift their heads above everyone else to get seen. So the amount of clickbait stuff, especially when it comes to theme parks, is shocking. Some of the crap that I sift through in my Facebook and Instagram feed looking for like Universal information, you see some of the... Especially Epic Universe. Oh my God. Some of the headlines I have seen... like referring to Epic Universe, just like, have you even been to that park? Like, just no.
Yeah, especially with ties to like YouTube videos, then the preview image you get, and it's like an explosion going off in a theme park or something. It's like disaster, and
this whole thing of hashtag epic fail. It's annoying.
I mean, let's be honest.
Wait, so if any of us drop anything like a drink or something in the parks, we need to take a photo, and it's like only in Epic though. It's hashtag epic fail.
Let's be honest though, calling that theme park Epic was the best thing for people who just wanted to on it, because like hashtag epic fail is perfect.
Yeah. It is.
But this letter as well, it does seem, like you said, it's been well crafted. It's also been worded in a way that they're already trying to alleviate residents' worries.
Yeah.
That they've got their welfare in mind as well. They want to,
which of course they're not going to come out and go, haha, guess what, we're going to bulldoze your house down and give you 20 quid.
Hey, other companies have done that. I'm not sure, it may go to compulsory purchase at some point with some of the houses, but having heard some of the residents, I'm pretty sure one of them, their house is a generational house. So I understand why you wouldn't want to move from that.
Oh, of course.
And there was also somebody that literally they've only just moved in. And it was supposed to be their forever home to raise children in.
Sorry.
And it's just like, that's heartbreaking. I do understand that.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
So
it's true. Yeah. Financially, at least, I think they're being treated quite well.
But they're a big company. They've got a lot of experience. So I
think that's the worry, though, by certain people. It's money speaks, doesn't it, at the end of the day? And I think that's the concern.
But that's the thing, though. Money does speak. But it's finding that right amount of money between two parties. Universal have enough money that if a person, they really want to free up that bit of land, and if a person is like, do you know what, I've got all of this history here, etc., they have deep pockets. They can make sure that person is happy.
I can't remember where I read it, but I saw like a piece about some of the prices that houses had sold for on that land, and someone like locally chimed in saying, trust me, these are very good prices for those houses.
Okay.
Everything, I'm not surprised that the investors are happy to sell for that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I did have a bit of a laugh. I think, did I put it in our chat? I did have a laugh at the resident who went to the local meeting and...
We haven't got there yet.
Is it in here?
About the local meeting? I mean, it's kind of in there, but yeah, go on.
I'll talk about it then.
All right.
It's okay, because...
we'll come back to
But
that.
be prepared. I laughed.
It was funny.
In fact, I chortled.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yes. I'll leave it.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, following that, the next correspondence that was sent out was dated April 5th, 2024. The letter said, an update from Universal Destinations and Experiences. In December 2023, we shared the news that Universal Destinations and Experiences, a US-based company that is part of Comcast Corporation, purchased an approximately 476-acre parcel of land just south of Bedford with a goal of exploring a potential new theme park and resort projects at the site. We have spent the last several months undertaking feasibility and due diligence work, as well as discussing the project with local and national stakeholders. It will still be some time before any decisions are made on whether or not to proceed with the project. We selected the Bedford site, which includes the former Kempston Hardwick Brickworks, as an ideally suitable location. It has been identified for development by Bedford Borough Council for some time, and it has a size and flat topography that is important for a large-scale theme park resort. Bedford and the site are also well connected for travel from all parts of the UK and are well served by fast rail links into London and to Luton Airport. More broadly, the UK is a very attractive market for a new theme park experience with a large population, creative industries, strong tourism, transportation infrastructure, and links to Europe. Our public engagement. Our project will have wide-ranging economic, social, and cultural benefits, both for and well beyond the local area, including for the wider region and country. The Secretary of State for the Department of Culture, Media and Sport has agreed to act as a sponsor of a potential Special Development Order application for the project within government. This means the planning decision maker would be the Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities. To prepare for a planning application submission and to secure the necessary planning approvals, we are holding a period of public engagement. This period is the best opportunity for you to engage as it represents an important milestone in our feasibility and due diligence work and is a key part of the planning process. It does not mean we haven't made a final decision on this potential project. Our public engagement period will run for 28 days from Friday the 5th of April 2024 and will close on Friday 3rd of May 2024. Our project's website, universalukproject.co.uk, includes information specific to this period, as well as a short survey for people to provide their feedback. This is the best opportunity to share feedback about our potential proposal and influence the project. We will also be hosting 2 exhibition events specifically for local residents, businesses, and the wider community, where we will share the same information that is on our website. We are publicising the dates and locations for these extensively and have enclosed a flyer with more information should you wish to attend. Collaboration and community engagement remain at the core of how we do business around the world. We appreciate everyone who has engaged with us so far and look forward to hearing your feedback, your sincerely universal destinations and experiences.
Yeah, there's a lot of departments and things in there. I have no idea. I've never heard of the Department for Culture, Media and Sport.
That's because you are uncultured swine.
All right then, how many of us have heard of the Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities? What the hell does that mean?
I'm pretty sure they made that one up.
It sounds like it's part of the gaming community.
Yeah. Oh, I levelled up our house last week.
It's like when you get past a certain birthday age, you don't have birthdays, you just level up.
Yeah, it's so we added an extension on there for. We didn't add an extension, we just levelled up our house. Sounds like The Sims.
It is. It's kind of a lot of words to say not very much at all.
I
but
agree.
It's nice of them to give an update, you know?
Yes. But again, very well crafted. We know dealing with Universal's emails and stuff like this, that a lot of them aren't particularly well written. These are very well written. Well written enough that I think it potentially would confuse the average person. Like, I don't know what a lot of that says.
Potentially bamboozling with words is...
Yeah.
Yes.
It's their attention.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's potentially hiding their intentions in a lot of gobbledygook. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything underhand in there, but...
I know, but if you start flooding people with information and they read through it and a lot of it doesn't seem relevant, they're less likely to scrutinize further information that they receive.
Yeah.
So, I'm not accusing Universal of trying to mislead or hide things, but it is a useful tool to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's wording things in a way that I guess kind of stops people trying to read too much into things.
But also lots of words makes it seem as if they have put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into this. We are using long sentences and long paragraphs to show you that we are invested and we are serious about this and we are going to protect everybody. That's how it kind of comes across. When basically that whole thing, which runs to almost 2 pages, over 2 pages, is basically saying we've bought some land, we're putting permits in, and
feel free to have a bit of feedback, which I would love to read, by the way.
And we've got a public engagement period, which is a legal requirement.
Yeah.
This is when it is. Come to it but if you notice, it's when this has gone out, the public engagement period runs from today, it says in there.
Oh, it does, you're right. Yeah,
which doesn't give them doesn't give them advanced notice of it. It runs from today.
That's very true.
And that's the date of the letter, probably not the date it was received. And that was sent on a Friday, which means it wouldn't get there until the following Tuesday? If we published on the website.
Wednesday.
So do we know whether they sent out actual letters
on them,
emails?
by the way, I'm just breaking this down.
Do we know whether they sent actual letters or whether they were just emails? A friend of ours actually signed up for these things and got this. I think there were emails. I don't think they actually sent letters out.
These weren't letters to residents?
I think anyone can sign up for these. So I'm going to call it. So Claire Goodwin, our good friend who lives down in Cannock, Staffordshire, she got some of these through. And I think anyone can sign up for them. Yes,
but I would say that people who are going to be directly affected by this.
So what, people in 3 or 4 mile radius?
I would say that it's probably a legal requirement that they have a paper copy sent to them, because otherwise the argument is, we didn't know about this. Because not everybody receives emails like they should. Not everybody checks spam. And sometimes spam hides stuff from me, because I found a spam folder within a spam folder, which was
and also
great.
there's always the argument that electronic only communications can discriminate against, people, the elderly, for example, people who aren't engaged.
Let's put it out there. If anyone living in the local area got letters, let us know. You can email us at universalgreatbritain@gmail.com. I'd actually be interested for anyone who's in the local area.
Also, it is a physical thing, because at the end it says, we're publicising the dates and locations for these extensively and have enclosed a flyer.
That's
enclosed
could be in an email as well.
Included, it would be in an email. Enclosed means it's within the same packet.
Anyway, okay.
It's
I
just
remember
terminology.
seeing people post that they'd received letters. I can't remember if it was this particular one, but I'm sure people were receiving physical.
Trust me, if they're going to craft something this carefully, they're going to use the right terminology.
Yeah. I did notice at the beginning that I've never actually paid attention to how much the area of land they bought was, the 476 acres. So I just looked up to see how big Epic is. So Epic is 750 acres.
Okay.
So this is like
is that
over
including
half.
outer land as well?
I don't know. I assume I don't know.
All land for expansions and stuff, probably,
and including Helios Grand as well, plus a car park and bus and all that. So that's and Epic is huge. So this is quite small in comparison to that.
We're a small country though.
Yeah, but we want a big park. I don't want a small park. I want a big one. If you're going to do it, man. Go big or go home. That's what I say.
What I will say though is you can't fault Universal on the what's the word I'm looking for? Being in touch with people. There's an actual word for that. You wouldn't think that I'm supposed to be good at words. No, contact, something like that. Anyway, they're doing well in that department.
Oh, yeah, but they have to. They don't really have a choice, do they? It's interesting, Guy, that you talked about Heathrow being the airport. They're specifically called out Luton Airport at that point.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Luton is, geographically the closest, and there's the train connections. I was just pointing out that Heathrow is one of the busiest in the world. It's just London is a huge tourist destination.
Yes.
And I think, of course, you're going to make it easy for people who want to fly in and go straight to the park, but just, having London as your sort of potential customer base and the amount of tourists. I mean, we used to live in London, and, the amount of tourists you get in London per year is it's incredible.
I mean, you'll find that you'll find a lot of people who want to visit Universal Great Britain will also come. It's like, it's not going to be like going to Orlando where you've got, if you want the Disney parks and SeaWorld and all the rest of it, where you could spend 2, 3, 4 weeks there. It's one park that realistically you're going to get 2 or 3 days at most. So then you'll probably find people coming from Europe or wherever. They'll go, we'll go and do the Harry Potter studio tour and we'll have a couple of days in London and we'll...
However, as a salty northerner,
I know.
We get bot all up here.
Yeah, I know.
And we have a lot to offer up here.
But our weather's even worse.
History. And I'm sorry, but we have Harry Potter up here as well.
That's very true.
Our weather isn't a lot worse.
I would say it is. It's much warmer down south.
Not much.
It is.
Couple of degrees.
No, it's a lot warmer down south.
You don't go down south.
I have been down south. I have sat in Wembley Stadium and bawled my balls off.
How many you bawled your balls off?
Boiled my balls off.
Boiled your balls off.
That's what I said.
Like, again, living in London and living now south of London, I can't remember the last time we had snow that settled. And quite often over winter, we get to see those news headlines of you guys up north who are like snowed in for weeks at a time.
We don't really get that, to be fair.
I was going to say, so you remember what we were saying earlier about sensationalised headlines? Yeah, that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, I've just looked it up, and Islands of Adventure is 110 acres, and Studios is 108 acres.
Okay.
Actual parks themselves.
Then how big is City Walk?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
How big?
And the hotels,
how big? Take the
resort.
hotels. How big is Islands of Adventure and City Walk all in one? That would be interesting, because I kind of think that's kind of what we're going to be looking at as a resort. Yeah. So realistically, that's 200 and a bit plus City Walks, probably about that size. But there's going to be a hotel of it, because I know it's come out this week in permits that the hotel is going to be called the Universal...
The Grand Hotel.
The Grand Hotel, yeah.
So, so with a hotel on it as well, that seems about... You're looking at a site plot of about the size of the current North Campus, as it's called now, the OG Parks, which is a pretty decent size. I like that. Okay.
So is the hotel, because most of, if not all of Universal hotels, I'm not sure if it's Beijing or Japan? They're all lows, aren't they?
Yes. I don't
All the
know
American
about...
ones are. I don't know
Don't
outside.
know about
See, Universal Hollywood don't have any Universal hotels as far as I'm aware. They don't have any on-site hotels. They just have partner hotels.
Don't think Japan does either.
Yeah, when I was walking through City Walk, there was one hotel that I noticed.
But it'll be
But it looked
like
like...
a partner hotel.
I'm not even sure if it's a partner hotel.
It will be. It will be. I'm sure if you stay there, you get perks of going into that park.
Okay.
Because there's certain hotels around Universal Orlando that are classed as partner hotels, like a Doubletree and a Hilton, I think, and something else that get sort of benefits, not like early park admission and stuff, but like tickets and you can walk from and stuff like that. They get benefits of being a partner hotel.
So I wonder who is it going to be a partner hotel here, or is it going to be, because Lowe's is primarily a US company.
I'm not sure if Lowe's operates outside the States.
I don't think they do.
Interesting. Premier Inn.
Travel Lodge.
Travel Lodge.
Epic Travel Lodge.
We still got Days
Oh,
Inn
no,
over
Epic's the
here.
other
It could be a Days Inn. And that'd be interesting, actually. That's a good question, actually. It would be interesting to see who will operate that hotel.
Yeah, or whether Universal actually try and do it themselves this time,
Which I
a la
would be
Disney.
quite interested to see, because I think
Yeah.
I understand why they partnered for Lowe's for those hotels, because
100%.
Lowe's have got all this experience and Universal haven't, but then it also hamstrings, if that's a term, Universal, because it still me off that if you even as a pass holder stay at one of those hotels, you get charged for parking, and that really grinds my gears.
Just speaking of hotels and laughing about Travel Lodge and Premier Inn, I'd be very interested to see if any small areas of land get bought up by those companies to build budget hotels in the area.
Yeah, I mean you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And also
100%.
now, if you're just outside of the purchase area, now's the time to convert your house, start converting it to a B&B.
I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see what's happened to property prices in the sort of like the radius of the park since things have been confirmed.
Well, there's loads of there were new builds on Rightmove Saxon something, which is like a whole kind of community of new builds that have popped up that are reasonably priced. Well, I mean,
reasonably priced for down there.
It's quite expensive. For reasonable for down south, I guess. It's
interesting.
Interesting.
Just we're going to move.
Probably.
I don't want to live down there.
You'd be closer to us.
I mean, that's true.
You will.
So as Tracy pointed out, they said they also sent out a flyer in the April of that year, which was 2024, detailing the two public exhibition events for local residents, businesses and the wider community. So the first one took place on Saturday the 13th of April at Kimberley College, and the second one was at Bedford College on Tuesday the 16th of April.
And following that, they sent a huge information pack that we may go through in another episode in its entirety. There's some reading for you, Dawn.
It was huge, by the way. So that I thought it was small, and they basically, it's so much information about what Universal do, what their theme park brand is, the hotels and everything. And I was going to include it, but as I say, it's probably 20 pages long, and we could probably do a whole episode on that. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
It was like half information pack and half like a flashy brochure.
Yes, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I'd have loved to receive these.
Yeah, me too.
Like a memorabilia.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
right.
a really good
eBay.
point. Yeah, it would be. I bet there's people selling them on eBay now.
The amount of people are like, through it, the recycling.
Yeah, because I didn't think nothing of it.
Yeah. You didn't think nothing of it,
man.
goodness.
There's theme park nerds out there would have paid you a fortune for that.
Okay, so the next letter they sent was in May 24. Dear neighbour.
Which is interesting already. We're now not local resident or whatever. We are dear neighbour.
Yes.
Getting familiar.
Dear neighbour, come over for a barbecue. Can we borrow some sugar? Dear neighbour, thank you for taking part in our public engagement. Over the last 4 weeks, Universal Destinations and Experiences has undertaken a period of public engagement to hear local feedback on our proposal and support our feasibility and due diligence work for a potential theme park and resort in Bedford. I'm just going to pause there. That's cut and paste from the last one.
Well, yeah, it'll be just reiterating things to keep it in people's forefront of their mind.
I know. While we continue to carry out our due diligence for the project, we wanted to thank you for your support and feedback from the time we purchased the land last year up until now. We are incredibly appreciative of the very warm welcome we've received and have been delighted by the enthusiasm and overwhelmingly positive responses provided throughout the public engagement period. In just 4 weeks, we met with almost 1,500 people during our in-person public exhibition events at Bedford College and Kimberley College, and have engaged with nearly 100 local organisations to also hear their ideas and feedback. Our engagement survey generated a great response. We had over 6,000 responses, the overwhelming majority of them from people in the nearby communities, and what we heard was remarkable. Just over 92% of people surveyed are supportive of our potential world-class theme park and resort. Less than 4% are not supportive, and 4% don't know.
Okay.
We've heard you say that you're excited about the prospects for job creation as well as the broader partnership opportunities that could become available for local schools, charities and businesses, and we are too. Your feedback also showed that there is strong support for the economic impact a generationally transformative project of this scale could bring, including investing billions of pounds and unlocking wider investment into Bedford, the surrounding area and the UK more broadly. There were understandably some areas where you had questions or wanted reassurance. We heard clearly that major infrastructure investments such as road and rail improvements would be required to support the needs of the local community and visitors, and we agree. People also want us to ensure that construction will be managed carefully and considerately, something we take seriously as a company and will be a priority for us if we go ahead. Additionally, we were thankful for the constructive dialogue around minimising visual impact and noise, and are confident we can provide minimal impact to the area based on our track record of inward immersive development at our parks around the world. As far as what's next, our continued due diligence and stakeholder dialogues will help determine whether we can proceed with this project. We also remain in ongoing conversations with the relevant transport authorities and with local and national governments to ensure all the elements to support a project of this scale are in place. Thank you so much for your engagement and feedback. Collaboration and community engagement are at the core of any new experience we create, and this was a significant milestone in our due diligence. We'll continue to share updates as the project progresses and on our website, universalukproject.co.uk. Yours sincerely, Universal Destinations and Experiences.
Yeah, wow.
It's so wordy.
Yes.
Really?
So wordy.
And like the previous ones, there's a lot of buzzwords in there. We like using the word due diligence a lot.
It's very American.
Well,
I mean, they are Americans, funnily enough.
I would just like to say, though, to anybody in the future writing letters out, don't just type them. Actually read them out loud and see if they are verbally coherent, because my jaw hurts.
But again, are we looking at something that's trying to... And I don't want to say it's disguising intentions, but it's putting a lot of waffle in there to say, again, not an awful lot.
Basically,
but again,
saying, we had the meeting, we listened.
Yes, and I guess it's from the perspective of, like, people will be nervous in the area. And the longer that there's no communication, the more people get nervous. I know it's that whole thing of no news is good news, but that's not true, because people's brains start kicking in and going, they haven't announced anything, I'm going to start panicking. So by keeping that dialogue updated, even if it's just saying the same thing that they said 3 months ago, it's just letting people know that this hasn't gone away. We are still discussing it.
Yeah.
Things are still progressing. This is where we're at right now.
This is also why it's so wordy. Because if they came in and said, we had this meeting, it went well, we listened to you, we heard all of your concerns, we're addressing them. That's all it said. People would be like, right, and?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're taking this very seriously, does it?
Exactly. So they have actually said, so this happened, we're addressing it this way. This has happened. So yeah, we're complaining it's very wordy because it's a lot for us to read out, but this is part of due diligence. They are making sure that these people feel heard.
Yeah.
So, and they did say, where is it, about noise, minimising visual impact and noise. They're confident we can provide minimal impact to the area. Based on our track record of inward immersive development, we know they can do this. We've seen them construct it.
Yeah, we know also how much of an issue them dealing with noise and stuff is with where Universal Orlando is situated, with having residential areas around it and not being able to do fireworks and stuff like that.
They're very good with compliance.
Which we've always found interesting, that it's like the parks close early a lot of the time because of that noise thing, but then when it's Horror Night season, we can open till 2 a.m. That's all right. I've never understood that, but okay.
But that's also in the planning application for the UK park.
It is, and I am very interested to see what a Halloween Horror Nights in the UK looks like. And I'm definitely looking forward. That is a topic of conversation I want to devote a whole episode to, because that will be very interesting.
The thing about this letter, which jumps out at me, and I mean, am I the only one who's surprised by what percentage of people surveyed are supportive? I mean, 92%.
It does seem high.
Yeah.
It depends, like how...
Did they go into the schools and survey the kids?
Where... Is that countrywide? Because I guess...
No, that would just be for the locale.
Well, they said 6,000 responses, the overwhelming majority from people in the nearby communities. So it's going to be nearby communities and theme park nerds are going to be the only people responding to that. And 92% of people surveyed, of those 6,000 responses, were supportive. Only less than 4% not supportive. And we have quite a sort of a NIMBY culture in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quite surprised that it was so positively received at this stage.
That's 5,520. I had to check.
How much of that feedback was people going, we better be getting Gringotts, or we better be getting Hagrid's, I want Hagrid's Velocicoaster, we want Jaws back to the future, like Ghostbusters.
I'm more interested in the 4% that just said, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I would love to see a form that they've filled in.
I don't know.
How do you feel about a theme park in your backyard? Don't know.
But was it, a lot of them, I don't care. Like, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, I mean, there probably are people out there who are just like, okay, well, it doesn't interest me, but it could be good for the area.
Yeah.
Don't really care either way.
Yeah.
But 92% of people.
Is a lot, yeah.
It's a good result at this point.
It is.
You know?
So we've talked about there being houses in this plot, but I don't know, I haven't looked into it too much at this point. Do we know how close there are larger communities to this park?
I don't know because I live in the north.
Guy, Dawn.
They live in the
I mean,
south.
I looked on Google Maps, obviously I do looking on Rightmove every now and then. There are sort of residential communities around it, yeah.
How close are we looking? Like within a what sort of mile radius?
Oh,
Well, look at Alton Towers.
Well, that's what I'm looking. There's nothing
Literally-
anywhere near Alton Towers.
Yes, there is.
Not really. There's a tiny little
Where you
village
come round
about
the
10 miles down the road.
Where you come round the corner to drive in, you're driving past houses.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, it's not driving past houses.
No. What I'm going to say is don't forget that once you get to the entrance of Alton Towers, you've got to drive for 3 hours to get to the park itself.
This is very true.
I hate that drive from the entrance. You're like, hey, we're at Alton Towers, everyone. And then it's like a big windy
Bloody hell, it's
road
3 o'clock now.
for 3 hours to actually get to the car park.
I mean, in that letter, that one of the first ones which I read out, they have, they actually name drop the local towns.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There is Stewartby, Kempston, Hardwick, Wotton, Marlstone, and looking at, I'm looking at Google Maps here, like maybe, within a few kilometres of the site.
Okay.
Is Stewartby the closest one?
I've never heard of any of them.
I think Stewartby is the one that's been most complaints from.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
It will be interesting to see what the percentage of that 4% is of people who, like, how close that 4% live to the area. Because I think they're the ones that are probably going to be complaining. The average person who lives, 10, 15, 20 miles away, who's a theme park fan, is going to be, yeah, cool.
Yeah, but if you're not a theme park fan and you lived that far away, I mean, you probably have some concerns about, the sort of number of people visiting the area, what it's going to do to traffic, what it's going to do to... so taking all that into consideration as well.
But funny you should say that.
Oh, yes.
Because...
Let's go back 20 minutes.
There was a little complaint. And so they had one of the local... it was like we have packed meetings and stuff like that. Like a little village hall meeting for a community. And I'm so sorry if this person is listening, but you did make me chuckle.
Do you want me to find the article?
Find the article because...
Because you posted it in our UUOP group chat, didn't you?
Yeah.
So this article was posted on the Bedford Independent, and it's titled Parents' Concern Over Child Safety and Universal Studios.
Oh, this is different to mine.
That's the one you sent.
Oh, okay.
A parent in Stewartby fears their children's safety could be put at risk if a huge Universal Studios theme park is built nearby, warning that large numbers of strangers in the area could make it unsafe for kids to play outside. The parent who lives in the area raised their concerns at a Stewartby and Kempston Hardwick Parish Council extraordinary general meeting on 24th of July.
Hang on.
An extraordinary general meeting.
Yeah, we have a contradiction there. Okay.
Wow. We're talking about the whole community here, they said. The children can play out safely in the evening. Are they still going to be able to do that while 55,000 random people at times are going to be walking in and out of this village?
Yes, because that's... Anyway, yeah, I'll get to that.
So I'm just going. That's all you need to know at that point, really.
So, okay, the child safety thing aside, which I do get, I completely agree with that. It's the 55,000 people wandering through the village. Don't want to burst your bubble, mate. But nobody's going there for the village. They're not going to be in the village. They're going to be in the theme park next door.
We have already talked about it through these
It's
letters
just
that
like-
the transport links that Universal don't want people to be around the surrounding area. They want them to go from point A, which is where they landed into the country or where they live,
Yep.
to the park.
Interesting.
So rail
thought.
links.
Giving them money
Yes.
immediately.
Yeah.
Rail links, bus links, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
They don't want people in the surrounding area. They want to transport you. So people flying into Luton Airport, I have no doubt they will have
I was
some
gonna say
sort
it's
of
gonna be an airport
like a
bus.
superstar shuttle or
Yeah.
something like that they provide in Orlando,
The Grand
getting
Shuttle.
people directly to the park. They will have a lot of that in place.
Yeah, so your average UK tourist visitor to Orlando does not set foot in Orlando. They go to Disney and Universal and they go home.
Unless
Yeah,
you're staying on iDrive, and even
And
then,
even then, it's a bubble.
you're not walking
Yeah.
into the park.
No.
You're getting a shuttle, you're getting an Uber, whatever it might be. So it's like Michelle commented, didn't she? She's like, oh, that's exactly what I do when I go to Universal Orlando. I'm just wandering around the outside area.
Of course. So, I mean, but yeah, I understand, like, the concern for the safety of the
Yes.
children. That is never... But it was more the... Come on. Put your, your thinking cap on. People are not... You're going to get the odd one that does go for a wander around. I might be staying in
A B&B
a
or whatever.
B&B or something. But you're not going to have 55,000
No,
people
no.
walking through a village. It'd be like a stampede.
Yeah, that was the
Can
thing.
you imagine it?
That was the thing, wasn't it? It's like, my kids aren't going to be able to play outside when there's 55,000 people wandering around the local
That's
neighborhood.
what that was it. It was very very specific.
What makes you think that every person going to that park, how do they know the capacity of that park's going to be 55,000 people, by the way? Because as far as I'm aware, Universal haven't said that yet. But anyway, right?
I mean, it's a pretty good guess.
55,000 people aren't going to be on your doorstep.
No. However, now is a really good time to set up a little cafe.
It would be, yes.
You know,
anyway,
like a night cafe or something like that.
that's that story.
But if you did have 55,000 people suddenly in your small village, whether your children could play outside or not would be the least of your concerns.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
we live in a village that is no longer a village. It's a small town now. And I think if 55,000 people suddenly descended on us, there isn't space for them.
No.
Yeah.
It'd be caps of chaos.
That just completely goes back to what we were talking about earlier of like over sensationalized negative information
Yes.
coming out of UK press.
It's the won't someone think of the children headline, which you get about
yes.
everything at some point.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking of the children. If you're good parents, your children won't be in your local neighbourhood playing outside. They'll be in that theme park down the road.
Yeah, with their annual passes.
Exactly.
Now,
Sorry, everyone, if you're listening
No.
and you're from that area.
it's what I am starting to think is they are meaning traffic, not actual individual
Really?
That's
people.
not what
I
that
know, but
person
say-
said. 55,000 people wandering around our neighbourhood.
That's very true. But even so, I can understand increased traffic being a problem. But I think there'll be a bypass built.
There's no way. Like I say, Universal know what they are doing. They
They've
have built
talked about
theme parks all
infrastructure.
over the road,
Yes.
all over the world.
They have.
They are again going to want to get people from their point of origin to that
A to
theme
B
park
as fast as possible.
as quick as possible with as little hassle for anything
Yes.
going on in between.
I have no doubt there'll be a bypass built.
Yeah, and they're not going to get planning consent if it involved 55,000 people driving through a tiny village together.
No.
Absolutely.
No, the damage to the infrastructure would be immense.
Yep.
So, and I speak from somebody living in a village. You know, I speak from that point of view. When we see increased traffic through for various reasons, we see damage that happens. So it's unsustainable. The children will be fine.
I think so.
They'll grow up much better for it, with bigger smiles on their faces.
Imagine having a Universal Park on your doorstep at like 10 or 11
Oh,
years
that'll
old.
be.
Oh, crazy, isn't it?
We need to move.
I mean, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
You
Look at what
can
age?
just stay at home and just say, "Oh, let's pop to,"
I mean, there is that school in Orlando where, like, from there, like the outside areas, they can see the back of Toon Lagoon and Islands.
Oh, there's one over the back of where Hagrid's is now, because when we used to ride Dueling Dragons, when you come up that first lip hill
yeah.
in that drop, you can see the school across the road from it.
Crazy, isn't it?
Also, I found the survey,
Fun survey.
yeah,
Oh,
that they sent to residents.
what did they ask?
Interesting.
Oh, so many questions.
Sorry.
There's another episode. Keep hold of that, Dawn.
We could answer it. We could fill it in
Oh my God,
ourselves.
there's an episode. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
All right.
Well, Moving on to 2025, they sent out a fact sheet titled Delivering Transformational Economic Benefit to Bedford, the surrounding region, and wider UK. To find out more, visit universalukproject.co.uk. This had a series of bullet points, such as £50 billion of direct and indirect economic benefit for the UK.
I mean, why would you not want that as a country, as a community,
I mean, that's an immense amount.
Headline.
Yeah.
It'd take me at least a week to spend that amount of money.
That would also mean that Universal would become one of the largest employers in the region.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the job opportunity, especially for the local children as they grow up, their first jobs as teenagers.
Oh, that would be amazing. Can you imagine working in...
Yeah, absolutely. Because we know from Universal Orlando and Disney World how much that those sort of local teens and stuff get the jobs at the parks. Transformative regional impact, facilitating several infrastructure upgrades.
Major boost to local and UK tourism, attracting millions of new visitors.
Approximately 80% of employees to come from Bedfordshire and the surrounding areas.
Expanding Wixham Station. Never heard of Wixham.
No, me either, to be fair. New direct slip roads from the A421 and local road improvements.
Investing billions of pounds and unlocking wider investment in the UK.
What does that mean?
I guess expansion of Luton Airport to, would count as unlocking wider investment.
Yeah, because like freight and stuff like that, if Luton Airport gets expanded, it means more runways and it opens doors for more international trade as well.
Interesting.
Like we were saying, hotels in the surrounding area. Mm-hmm. That's local. That's wider investment.
True.
8,000 new jobs generated once operational.
8,000 jobs doesn't sound like a lot. I'd be interested to find out, as three separate parks, or four if you want to class Volcano Bay, what amount of employees are in studios or islands or like Epic or Volcano Bay. I wonder what that is. I'd be interested to find that out. Anyway.
Yeah, and play an active role in our communities with a proven track record of local partnerships. So would that mean then the hotels?
Possibly.
Potentially, yeah.
But then also you have to look like Universal Orlando. If you look at things like, if you look at a lot of the candles that are being sold, like Horror Nights ones and stuff like that, that was an independent manufacturer who created them as like a fan thing, and then Universal sort of started selling those in the parks. So they're not... Creating partnerships like that is something that they like to do, which is interesting. So local people creating sort of
local
content
items
and things would be quite interesting to see if they went in a partnership with things like that. I do like that about Universal.
Yeah.
Also, even with less creative things, like the food has to come from somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bolstering the UK's creative industries, delivering the first Universal theme park in Europe. That's not technically true, but all right.
20,000 jobs projected during construction, with 5,000 or more on site at the peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to boost the economy, isn't it? With like local... like the manufacturers and construction people are getting like that's going to be a huge industry, isn't it? Because you can't ship people in. Like all of that's going to be massive for the local community and economy.
And also,
that's
it's not like it just lasts for a year or so. This is years of work
and maintenance as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what? This is when parents in the local areas should be speaking to the kids about doing apprenticeships within these sorts of trades.
Yes,
because they're going to have work for life in that area.
Yeah. Because there's always this will not be a park and done. I'm sure that at some point there'll be expansions and whatever else. So
and then there'll be a second campus up here, up north.
I can't say that, but all right. The Hogwarts Express.
Hey, manifest it.
You get the Hogwarts Express. It's a little bit different from getting it from islands
to studios.
You get the Hogwarts Express from Bedford to
2.5 hours. Yeah.
Just imagine. Because in Japan they have the Hello Kitty train. I know it's just the Shinkansen, but the
bullet train. Is that the bullet train?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a Hello Kitty themed one with a shop on it. I need to do it. Sorry,
the difference is the trains in Japan work.
They do.
That's true. But it's interesting when you look at this all together. It is difficult as a local resident to think the upheaval that it's potentially going to cause you and your life and the rest of it, but then to look at the wider impact on the country as a whole. We're talking about the economy being in a rough place, the whole Brexit and all the rest of that's gone. To turn down something that is going to bring so much investment, so much infrastructure
I'm sure
growth over
worry.
years would be stupid to turn that down, surely.
Yeah, it's like the sheer scale of this whole one company coming to the UK, the sheer scale of everything, the amount of money bringing the jobs, everything. everything. It's
Impact is huge.
Yeah,
It
massive.
is.
Massive.
Yeah, for one
But-
company, for building one theme park, the impact is massive.
But think of it from a personal point of view. We've said to our kids, sometimes you can't think globally. You have to think locally, and that includes yourself.
Yes, I get that.
You know, so
It's
I do
easy for us to
understand-
say, living at the other end of the country, to go, this is massive, and why you would turn it down.
Even if we live 20 miles out of it, we're not in that epicenter.
Yes.
And these people do deserve to have a voice.
I would still
I
be like,
agree.
hell yeah, I want to.
Oh, we would be.
Give me annual passes for life.
Probably
Give me
get
a
'em.
decent price for my house.
Give me
I'm
a
in.
job.
I'm in. I don't want a job.
Yeah, frequent fair passes yearly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, with Express.
Free parking.
Give me discounts on Lowe's hotels in Orlando and annual passes for Universal and Epic and all of that, and I'm good to go.
I
You
think
can
you'd
have
owe them money for giving them your house at the end of this negotiation.
Yeah.
probably.
I mean, the other thing is like all the communication so far, there's been a lot of words saying not very much. This is not many words saying a hell of a lot.
Yes.
And it really is a sort of like, they're selling it, you know, this is headlines.
yeah,
Yeah.
So it's incredible.
Good. Yes.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That brings us to the letter, which was sent out on April 9th, 2025. Dear neighbour again. This is sounding more and more like they are there. Dear neighbour, following more than a year of feasibility, due diligence and close engagement with local and national stakeholders, as well as members of the local surrounding communities, Universal Destinations and Experiences, a unit of Comcast NBC Universal, announced today it intends to build and operate the company's first ever Universal branded theme park and resort in the United Kingdom, located here in Bedford, pending planning consent approvals.
Yeah, we know. You said that in the last 4 letters that you sent out.
Yeah. The proposed plans include an entertainment resort complex with a world-class theme park with several themed lands featuring Universal's distinct brand of immersive storytelling, thrilling rides, innovative attractions, and exciting entertainment. Initial resort plans also feature a 500-room hotel and a retail, dining, and entertainment complex. It'll be the first Universal branded theme park in the UK and Europe.
Again, not strictly true.
And this development will have a transformative impact on Bedford and the UK economy. It will be a major contributor to the creative arts and tourism industries, generating nearly £50 billion of economic benefit for the UK and creating thousands of new high-quality jobs. At opening, the theme park will be one of the largest employers in the region, with approximately 80% of employees expected to come from Bedford, Central Bedfordshire, Luton and Milton Keynes, with many more communities benefiting from apprenticeships, training and education opportunities. The project, with strong support from the national and local government, national highways and Network Rail, will also help to unlock several long-standing local transportation upgrades. This includes the expanded construction of Wixham's railway station, direct split roads from the A421 to accommodate road traffic, and an upgraded Manor Road, in addition to improvements to the active travel network. What on earth is the active travel network?
One that works?
Yeah, it's the opposite of the non-active travel network.
sorry.
How
How
silly
could I
of you,
forget?
Guy.
The response to the project has been very positive, with thousands of local residents participating in our engagement period last year and 92% expressing their support. Our next steps. A planning proposal will be submitted to government in the months ahead with a projected construction start date in 2026, subject to the relevant planning approval. Additional news will be shared on the project's website, universalukproject.co.uk.
And if that's not burnt in your brain by now, it should be.
I'll be saying that in my sleep tonight. And local residents will be kept abreast of the status of the project's planning proposal. On behalf of the company, we sincerely appreciate the widespread support and enthusiasm for this project, and we look forward to the next steps in the months ahead. Yours sincerely, Universal Destinations and Experiences.
It's interesting that first letter that got sent out was addressed by a specific person.
Yes.
And yet everyone we've had since then, so originally it was John McReynolds, Universal Destinations and whatever the hell it was they decided to call themselves now, this big long-winded title. Yet the ones we've had since have just been at Universal. So it's gone from, hello,
Yes.
from John McReynolds to dear neighbour, Universal Destinations and Experiences.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's gone from impersonal, personal to personal, impersonal,
Yeah.
which is weird. But we've talked about these letters. That's another one that has a lot in there, but doesn't really say anything that we haven't already heard.
No, but it's the first one which actually starts kind of selling what is going to be there as
Yes.
opposed to what it can bring. It's saying immersive storytelling, thrilling rides, and innovative attractions.
Which tells me they're further along in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've
had some agreements put in place.
We won't. It's that thing of like, we want to talk about Area 51. It's like, how much, go with me, guys.
Gonna have to.
So if you go by conspiracy theories, right, all this stuff, technology that we get has been there for years, and they just leak it out a little bit at a time because there's a whole thing we wouldn't be able to handle it. And I feel like this is the same when it comes to this, that all this stuff's probably already in place, but they just eke it out a little bit at a time rather than coming all out at once. So it's like, we know, I was going to say this earlier, we know that the whole production thing for Epic Universe started 7 years ago.
Crazy.
Which is interesting when you look at, we're 6 years out from potentially this opening. And I know Epic's a much bigger project overall, but 6 years...
Well, yes and no, because they were building Epic in their backyard. They had their creative team there. They've got relationships with the local, contractors. Over here, they're kind of starting from scratch.
That's true.
Obviously, they'll have to come over, but they don't have the local network.
That's true.
So do you think then Universal had this in their back pockets for a while? Like planning something over this side of the pond?
I think there had to have been.
I think knowing Universal, this has probably been, like I say, we've been hearing rumours of it for quite some time. So when we heard that they bought that land, it was not a surprise. I think it's always been a case of when, not if.
And that's the thing I was about to say. It's the fact they bought that land. From the very first letter, we have bought this land. Yes. Oh, we're still assessing things. We're still, this may not go ahead. But how often do you buy 400 acres of land if you're not really sure you're going to do something with it?
Well, it's true, yeah. It's like you don't buy a house until you've had the surveys and everything done.
Yeah.
This is kind of what we were talking about earlier on. We don't know this stuff, but I wonder how much that 476 acres of land cost them.
I know.
I wonder how much of it's usable, because our country isn't flat. And when you look at Alton Towers...
that land was attractive because it was flat.
Okay.
Yes, they did. But also, you're talking about a company that's built a theme park resort in a place that has notoriously been swampland.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't stop Walt Disney, did it?
At least we don't have hurricanes here, which will come through and flood
not
yet.
Not yet.
I mean, you don't... Speculatively purchasing land of that sort of size... It doesn't seem something you do. I mean, yes, they've got a lot of money, but you have to be fairly certain and do something with it before you make that sort of investment.
But then I wonder if, because then they were afterwards they were doing all this like surveys and letters to residents and things like that. And if people for some reason don't want this to go ahead, and there's like an overwhelming majority who say no, I don't want the theme park. What would they have done would they still have gone ahead?
Oh, they'd have done a chargeback on they'd have done a chargeback on the credit card. Sorry, we don't want it anymore. It's not what we were promised. Like, the packaging wasn't the same, or it was damaged in the post, so we don't want it anymore. I don't know. That's
arrived.
A very interesting question, actually, Dawn. I do not know.
They'd have sold it on.
I think they probably had a good idea moving in that people weren't going to be against it enough for them to have to pull the plug on it. But it is an interesting conversation to have, to think, like, what would they do? Because, again, that's what I was going to say earlier. Yes, they have a lot of money. Like Tracy said, they've got deep pockets, but I don't think they have deep enough pockets that they can spend a few, I don't know what we're talking, realistically, a few $100 million maybe on that plot of land to just write off that amount of money.
But then I wonder if they've obviously done surveys. I mean, we get our surveys the whole time about the percentage of people traveling to Universal from the UK.
Yes, that's
and
a good point.
maybe they kind of thought it's quite a high number, perhaps, and they made I don't know.
This is where my concern is. It's a very interesting line that Universal are going to have to walk. Like you said, Don, there's a lot of people from the UK that go out to Orlando. And we're starting to see more and more the people who are going out just for Universal. It used to be that people would go for Disney and then you could
tag Universal on.
And not tag it on, but because Universal's there, you go that we did it. We went primarily for Walt Disney World, and it's like, well, while we're there, of course we're going to go to Universal, of course we're going to go to Busch Gardens, of course we're going to go to SeaWorld, of course we're going to go onto our drive and do Ripley's Believe It or Not, or Wonderworks, or all this other stuff. But my concern is, for Universal, we are in the middle of an economic crisis. People don't have the money that they have.
No.
So, yes, all right, build a park here to give people who love Universal to go. But is that going to take away from... So let's just look at it from a financial point of view. For us, for example, going to Orlando... Not for us, for everyone. Going to Orlando is an expensive thing.
Yes.
Say you're like us and you're just going for Universal. So you're going to stay on site, you've got your flights and spends and park tickets and all the rest of it. It's not cheap. So then to add in a park over here... Is that going to make it a thing for people where, like, I have to make a decision now? We either go here or we go there. We can't afford to do both. Mm-hmm. That's a concern.
Because then I think the difference then would be that is a concern, but I think there's the rides and the weather. You know, people will still probably say, because going to Florida is a big kind of holiday.
It's like an observational holiday. You know, it is.
Yeah.
I've had a thought. So the cost for us going to Orlando is your flights, basically, right? The flights, Universal don't get that money. So they're getting your money whether you're visiting a park here or there. They're getting the same money because the main cost to us is the flights.
Yeah, but let's look
at... They want to increase their revenue, not just move the revenue from one place to another.
But let's look at park tickets then. The average person going from the UK is buying a 14-day ticket from over here. They're not like us buying annual passes. But again, like we said, this is one park that's not that big. You're going to do 1 or 2 days. Whereas if you go to Orlando, you're going to buy a 14-day ticket.
My concern, though, is the prices that they charge over in Orlando. Those prices are not sustainable in this country with our economy. With the wages that people have, they cannot charge those prices.
I think I would disagree, but it'd be interesting to compare it to the price of stuff at Alton Towers. I remember paying £3 for a sausage roll at Alton Towers.
Yes, but how much is it to get into Alton Towers?
At the time, it was £50.
Yeah, and it's a lot cheaper at the moment.
That's because they know the people. I think it's interesting. Oh, there's some real conversations to delve into. Mm-hmm. Is it interesting that just now Alton Towers have decided to drop the price of their tickets? Now Universal have announced they're building a park in the UK. Are they trying to get people to go to build a core audience that are going to go, well, I like Alton Towers because I've been going there for years and I'm going to continue going there because it's cheaper than going to the UK park of Universal, building like I say, a core audience that they're going to take their kids and then their kids are going to take their kids. You're trying to build your, I can't think of the word I want to use.
The loyal customer base.
Yes.
Yeah, you're sort of really a repeat customer.
Does Alton Tower been there I haven't actually been to Alton Towers for many, many years. Is there a hotel there on site?
They've got 2 hotels, the Splash Landing and the Alton Towers Hotel. Yeah. Plus they've got like little hobbit cabins, which are super cute. And then they've got
those houses.
Yeah, and those stargazing pods. So they actually have a lot there now.
But then it brings us back to our first episode when we're talking about the difference between amusement park and a theme park.
Yes.
Because then the Alton Towers and Chesington and everything, is more, to me, an amusement park because it's based on rides and thrill rides and roller coasters.
Yes, no immersion.
And
rather than experience.
I'm not really a roller coaster person. So I wouldn't really go to Alton Towers and I'd go to Universal for the theming because it's kind of like you're being immersed into
the story,
whatever world they put you in.
Yeah, you can go and not ride anything and still have a good day because you've you
which
know,
we
the atmosphere
did.
and
look at that day we spent at Epic. It down for most of the day and yet still had an amazing day in there.
Yeah.
But then that brings me to the other thing I was going to say is, again, you've got to put rides in this park that people want to visit. Mm-hmm. That isn't taking away from what's in Orlando.
Well, they've already said that. They said that they're going to have no duplicate rides.
Have they actually? Have they?
Yeah.
They've definitely.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I mean, they wouldn't have to because they would have to keep it and maybe 1 or 2 clones at best, but they would have to keep it very separate because they need people to have a reason to go, well, I don't need to go to Orlando now because I've got Hagrid's and Velocicoaster in my back door, like on my back doorstep. So why do I need to go?
They can't do anything with the Potter license because of the studio tour.
Yeah. Which is, I'm quite happy. But I've heard that there is something Potter going to be going in there.
Oh, interesting.
Again, from what we've heard, Potter is going to be part of that. But there's a lot of people got into the concept art at this point and kind of broke it down from what it looks like. And we know from Universal's concept art that usually it's about 90%. Like, you can take the concept art for Diagon Alley and look at Diagon Alley and go, it's one for one.
The thing is, between a Potter world, we'll call them worlds now.
Please don't.
A Potter land and the studio tour are two different things, because the studio tour is actual set pieces and it's a historical thing. So they are two different entities. They can coexist quite happily, work together.
I think so. Anyone who's going to visit that Universal park as a Potter fan is going to go to the
have a ticket that
studios.
includes that.
That's a really good idea.
It's
give it like a discount, have a Universal ticket and get 10% off the studio tour.
Yeah. Or 10% of a butterbeer that you can put straight in the bin.
Yeah, I mean,
I think for Universal, being able to sell butterbeer, is a hugely valuable thing.
Oh my God, have you had the butterbeer at the studio tour?
No.
It's disgusting.
Did we not get it last time?
No, we didn't sell it when we went there.
It's disgusting.
When they have wet bins right next to where you buy them, that tells you a lot.
It is horrible. It is not the same as the stuff in the US.
Well, interesting. I assumed it would be.
It's not even. Oh, this isn't the same as the stuff in the US, but it's a decent drink, but it's not that. No, it's like
foul.
that's vile. I'm not even drinking it.
It tastes like
death
butterbeer.
Oh, during the pandemic, I ordered a couple of bottles because they started selling bottles of it.
Yes, they did.
I assume that was because it was bottled and not, why wouldn't they just? Who knows?
Yep.
Anyway,
so
I mean, it is going to be interesting because apart from everything else, even if they had no cloned rides, no even cloned or duplicate IPs. The fact is, as you say, it's expensive to go to Universal or Orlando, but it's increasingly more and more expensive.
Yes.
The cost of a trip to Orlando, just for the two of us, has easily increased by close to 50% over the past few years.
Yeah.
Easily.
And then add in now that whatever upgrades, Guy, you and I were talking about it the other day with, what do you do with your annual pass? Because at some point we're going to want to add Epic on there. Do you buy that? Do you give up your annual pass to buy a 14-day pass with Epic on it? Or do you buy your annual pass hoping that eventually you can add Epic on it, which you will be able to, but then what is that cost of upgrading your pass to add Epic on? So it is. I've had many conversations with friends of ours, like it worries me how expensive a trip to Universal Orlando is becoming. And having this park here is an interesting one because a lot of people can't afford to do both.
Well, if our kids were still younger and we would be paying for them to go, we would not be going. I'm so pleased. I've never thought I'd say this, but I'm so pleased my kids are grown up now.
It's going to be interesting to see what they charge to get in.
I don't think they can charge the same as, obviously with the conversion rate, I don't think they can charge the same as they charge on the gate over there.
When you think about...
I think that's a prohibitive amount.
Well, Disneyland Palace have very expensive tickets, and they seem to be doing okay.
That's France, though. People expect it to be a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I wonder if they will offer local residents discounts.
There's Florida discounts, resident discounts.
Yeah, so probably. Yeah, that would make sense.
And I wonder if that will impact the amount of UK residents flying over to Florida. If they ever do a survey and stuff.
It's going to be really interesting
to
see. I'm sure they have discussed it behind the scenes and stuff, but it does worry me that they are going to cannibalize some of the market going over to Orlando, or people are still going to go to Orlando but can't afford to go there and aren't going to get the attendance at the UK park that they hoped for.
I think you're going to see a mix that is going to be people who want to go to Orlando can't afford it. This means it's accessible for them. Maybe only once a year or something like that. But I also think you're going to have the people who can only afford to go to Orlando maybe every 2 or 3 years are going to be like, oh my God, yeah, we get a taste of that.
They're up in the middle.
And they've got that. Yeah. So you're going to get this whole mixture. I don't think...
gateway into it. We've never been, and we go there and go, oh my God, if this is what they can do over
now
here,
we need to save to go and do.
Okay.
So I think actually it's...
synergistic.
It's never gonna fail at
No,
all.
but I'm sure that Universal have already thought about this.
Course,
They
I'm
must have
sure,
thought
yes,
about the
they
impact.
have to.
And the
Yes.
thing is, like an Orlando holiday isn't just one theme park. It is all the theme parks and the water parks and everything else that surrounds them
And the weather.
and the weather. I think, people, I'm sure there will be some people visiting, Universal Great Britain for the park, but I think for a lot of people who go to that park, it's going to be part of a wider trip to England.
It was
So,
Yeah, it was
I think
something that Dawn said to us when I think we were in the backwater bar when we were talking about going on vacation. There's like, once Dawn met Guy, they've never been anywhere else but Orlando. And to be fair, Trizzy and I haven't really been. And you kind of put it, it's like, Orlando has something for everyone. If you want to go and hang out at a beach, you can go and hang out at a beach. If you want to have a day around the pool, you can have a day around the pool. But but you can walk into a theme park with world-class attractions or a water park or, bars and restaurants. It's got everything you want. And it's stuck with me. Like, because you get those people that judge, don't you? Why are you going to the same place all the time? There's a rep who comes into work all the time and is like, oh, when are you going back to Disneyland? And I'm like, oh, off.
Right, it slipped my mind. Are we getting like a city walk area here?
Yes, they did say that.
I just couldn't.
Yes.
So if they make that free access to local residents, that's going to placate them. Like free parking or something like that.
I am so interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
fascinating.
the park, I can kind of imagine, but is it going to be like a Greg's and a Costa?
Yeah, and a cheeky spoons and a
Hilarious.
Nando's.
Yeah,
and
Nando's. Oh my
cheeky
God.
Nando's.
That will be interesting, actually, to see
Greg's
what
will be in
restaurants
there.
they put in City Walk. I would expect. I don't think so. I think you'll find a lot of clones. This is not what we're supposed to be talking about at this point, by the way. I've completely gone off topic, but I think you'll find stuff like Toothsome. I think a Toothsome will be in there inevitably.
There'll be Starbucks, which is going to piss me off. It should be Nero's. That's a better one.
Anyway,
We're
taking away content
Pret.
from future episodes.
No,
at this point. Yeah, Pret a
we're
Monkey.
not. We're just teasing.
Do you think there'll be a Tesco Express somewhere as well? No.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway,
A B&M. Just
Wow.
for your essentials. Boots the
B&M.
chemist.
And finally, we arrive at the most recent update posted on the 14th of August. The planning process facilitates open dialogue and feedback, and we appreciate Bedford Borough's commitment to that process and continued support of our proposed development. Since announcing our intent to proceed with this transformative project, subject to receiving the relevant planning consent approvals, strong interest and enthusiasm continues, including over 18,000 local residents, around 80% of whom live in Bedford or the surrounding regions, registering to receive job information, and around 2,000 suppliers expressing interest in working with us. We are excited about the significant opportunities our planned project presents and remain fully committed to ensuring our SDO application is thoroughly vetted. What is a SDO?
Special Development Order.
Oh, okay.
Now that's interesting though. This is an update. They're expecting, this is their words, I'm assuming, copied and pasted.
Yeah.
They're expecting people to remember what SDO is.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known what an SDO was,
but
even though we've heard it at least 6 times in this
But
episode.
they're expecting people to remember that. This is in a missive that's gone out to people. They're expecting people to remember that. If you're going to do that, that
I
should
don't
be
know whether this went out to people or whether it was just an update on the website, actually.
But even so, if
But
you're
yeah.
going to use all the words, use all the words.
Yeah, I mean, they have done. We know Universal use all the words. Like, how many times
I'm
have
just nitpicking.
How many times in this thing have they ever referred to themselves just as Universal? No, every single time it's Universal Destinations and Experiences.
Well, we know that they have to use all of the words.
I know they do, but then they don't use all the words, as we've just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is impressive.
It's very
18,000 people have applied for job information, 2,000 suppliers. I mean, obviously, if you're a supplier in that region, you express interest in working with them.
100%.
Yeah.
It shows that there is the sort of community engagement there.
Yeah. I mean, and I know from people who work in the Orlando parks that they are a great employer to work for.
Well, Lee, you
Yes.
better get your job application in.
This is my job application. It is here now. You're listening to it.
Oh, God, I'm going to ruin this for you, aren't I?
If you ever need a podcast, Universal, I'm right here.
Well, on that note, that brings us to the end of this second episode of the podcast, where we'll continue to delve into what is out there in the world right now as far as info for the park. But we have many other fun episodes planned, so please make sure to subscribe to us on whatever podcast platform you're listening on.
It's interesting. I feel like we've come up with more episode ideas on this episode,
know.
which I really love.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I put them down in the Google Doc.
Yeah.
Because I think we've come up with some great ideas, actually.
Yes.
And you were worried about us filling 6 years.
Yeah, no,
Right?
it's good. It's interesting though. Like, you look at this episode was literally just meant to be us going through this stuff, and the conversations and the discussion that we've had shows you there is so much to talk about this
Exactly.
park.
Exactly. So make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So just search UUGBP and email us at universalgreatbritain@gmail.com.
And of course, be sure to check out all the other podcasts on the UUOP network. Of course, the one that started it all is the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, out weekly.
And then Rush of Fear, our year-round Halloween Horror Nights podcast.
The Theme Park Duo for SoCal theme park and haunt news, as well as general theme park info.
And The Taste of Universal, which is our Universal food and beverage dedicated podcast. Don't listen when hungry.
And there is the Podkey Passport, our adult-centric Disney podcast.
And the newest podcast on the network, Big Dumb Stuff, our comedy, pop culture and theme entertainment podcast. Find them on all podcast platforms.
We'd also love for you to help shape the conversation, so do get in touch with any topics you'd like to hear covered.
But for now, that'll be us signing off. We hope you'll join us next month for our unofficial Universal Great Britain podcast. Toodles!